members, put on your marching shoes. Shake it off. Stop complaining. Stop grumbling. Stop crying. We are going to press on. We've got work to do.
Congresswoman Barbara Lee is a member of the Congressional Black Caucus, and I'm delighted to say that she joins us live from Capitol Hill. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Glad to be with you.
One commentator says President Obama was in rare form at the CBC Annual Awards, speaking in thundering tones with a rolling cadence. Why, can I ask you, is the president so assertive and effective when he's campaigning, and yet much less so when he's governing?
I think the president is very effective while he's governing, given especially the obstructionist agenda of the Republican Party, the Republican Tea Party. When you look at the fact that Senator Mitch McConnell said that their first priority in terms of their overall agenda was to make sure that President Obama would be a one-term president, then I think we see what is taking place and what is happening here on Capitol Hill. And so the president, when you look at the last 2 years, we passed health care reform, we passed a variety of measures that really began to dig us out of this hole from the Bush administration's economic policies. And so the president is a fine campaigner. He's campaigning like he should do, and he's governing as he is.
I want to be polite, but unemployment is still over 9%. You're saying these legislative successes have transformed the country, but where's the evidence for that?
No, I'm not saying that, because we just are beginning, unfortunately, to move forward a jobs agenda. Of course, we tried in the last 2 years, and the Republicans really did obstruct every effort. I chaired the Congressional Black Caucus for the last 2 years, and I know how many jobs bills were put forward only to be defeated. And so we're working on this again. The president has come up with his package of his jobs bill, and believe you me, we're going to work like crazy, hopefully in a bipartisan way, to get it passed. If not, I think the country is going to see what is taking place.
Were you offended when the president told the CBC to stop complaining and get to work? I mean, I imagine you feel like you've been working pretty hard.
I know I've been working hard. I know every member of the Congressional Black Caucus for years and years and years has been and will continue to be working hard. I had many calls. People are saying to me, you know, the president really didn't mean that, because he knows what the suffering and pain is out there. And so I say he must have been just caught up in the moment, went off script. But I think what's important is to recognize that the cries of the people, the cries of the least of them, are real. We have over 17% unemployment in the African-American community, and the Latino community is rising, in the Asia Pacific American community. People are hurting. National average over 9%. So there's no way that the cries and the needs of these people cannot be heard by any of us. And we're working very hard to try to turn this around.
We've seen the president's weak overall approval ratings, the litany of candidates calling him a one-term president. But if he's so vulnerable, why do you think the Republicans are having such a hard time putting forward a credible, solid leader that they wish to press against him in 2012?
I must say the Tea Party Republicans are running the show. They came to Congress to dismantle government. And the American people understand that there's no jobs agenda. And I don't believe many Republicans who have a jobs agenda can emerge as a credible candidate, because you have the Tea Party Republicans here to stop any initiative, any agenda to create jobs. And that's a fact. And so I hope that the American people are really beginning to see what is taking place. I think the debates on Congress and the fact that they won't support any jobs initiative. We've been fighting, like, you know how we've been fighting to pass these jobs bills, and they stop every step of the way to keep progress from moving. And let me just say, there are people who are unemployed more than 99 weeks. And I always have to remind the public that Republicans, Democrats, Independents, we all have people, Tea Party members, who have been unemployed for more than 99 weeks. And we need to pass legislation to add 14 more weeks for the 99ers. And so we have a lot of work to do. We have to make sure we target resources to the African American and minority communities where the problem and the unemployment rate is the greatest. I think this package really begins to attack unemployment in a big way throughout the country. It really does begin to recognize that there are huge disparities in our communities of color, especially in the African American community. So this is an uphill battle. No one said it's going to be easy, but let me tell you, we have our marching shoes on. We've had them on for more than 40 years. The Congressional Black Caucus, I'm very proud to say, just celebrated celebrated 40 years of existence.
Indeed.
And because of many of the legislation that has been passed, because of, for instance, Congressman John Lewis, who nearly died for the right to vote, because of so much work of the Congressional Black Caucus, this country is a better place. But we have a heck of a lot more work to do, and we're going to continue to fight until our communities are treated equally and fairly.
Congresswoman Barbara Lee, fighting the good fight. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So if the Republicans have the momentum in